40 mistakes that I've made in 40 years that I'm going to share with you guys today because I turned 40 years old and I made a lot of mistakes to get here. I am not proud of all of them, but I sure am going to be sharing them all with you guys today. So let's go. Fillers. Fillers. No one should have gotten fillers. I dissolved all my fillers just like 2 months ago, and it was the best decision. Yes, I had to do some other things, which we'll get into later. That shit moves, and no one knew about this until the last year or so. 2, trying to change people. At my age or older, no one's gonna change. I'm sorry to sound like a pessimist, but if you're trying to change your partner or you're trying to change somebody, you cannot fit a peg into a round hole. Did I say that right? You just have to focus on yourself and bettering yourself. Don't focus on trying to change other people. They have to want to change. Stop messing with your hair. Stop dyeing your hair all the time. It's going to thin out eventually and you're going to regret it. I am figuring out how to grow my hair back. Yeah, stop messing with your hair. Caring too much about what other people think. I suffered this for so long. It was up until 4 years ago after my divorce when I was like, I gotta live for myself. F what everyone else thinks of me. Am I happy? Yes. Then F the rest. People forget about your shit so quickly. They have their own lives and then they'll move on. So don't care so much about what other people think. Not celebrating small wins. The really big wins in life are actually the little moments. I think I totally made a mistake of trying to get to the next thing so fast instead of sitting there celebrating and just being proud of myself for accomplishing these little things. 6, comparing myself to others. I think this is the death of anyone, really. I get it with social media. It's so hard to not compare your life or how you look or the things, the materialistic things. But you always have to remember that everyone is putting their best version on the internet of themselves. You never know what people are suffering from, like internally. They actually might be so empty and you have no idea. You might look up to them. You have to just be laser focused and focus on where you're going and compare yourself to none other than yourself. Before we continue, I want to thank one of our sponsors, which is a brand that I absolutely adore because I use them a lot. They're called Skin and Lab. I discovered Skin and Lab when I was in Korea and started using these two guys religiously for almost a year now. But then I discovered this guy, which is a very intensively hydrating ampoule. This is a Skin and Lab Barrier Derm Ringer ampoule. Pretty game changing if you haven't started using an ampoule within your skincare routine. It has a Sydney ringer and it gives your skin an intense hydration throughout the day, moisture level by 100 hours. And even with makeup and powders and all of that, it leaves my skin feeling very much moisturized and not dry. And these two guys I've been using for almost a year now. I go through these guys so quick because I also travel with them. This is a Bucochill eye serum. So I talk about one of my biggest regrets. I wish I started retinol earlier. Now this Bucochill is a vegan retinol. So it's very lightweight. It also has alpha arbutin and peptide, so it's extremely hydrating and brightening and lightening. But it's a gel, kind of like a watery texture. It's really cooling for the eyes. But I use this along with an eye cream. And one of the biggest things that I've noticed is entering my 40s is that I get all these like dry crepiness under my eyes. It's the most annoying thing in the world. This helps smooth and also hydrate throughout the day, but there's also benefits of doing this, and over time it'll actually make your under eye much better. Now this is the Skin and Lab roller cream. The eye serum and the retinol roller cream comes in a set like this, but this guy I am obsessed with. So you just squeeze out the product like this and you just roll it on your face, and it's a steel roller, so it's really just soothing. This is a vegan retinol that also has hyaluronic acid, so it really hydrates. It helps with elasticity and overall plumpness and your skin texture. I also like to do it on my neck. The skin feels so tight and nice and hydrated.
Thank you, Skin and Lab, for my hydrated skin and also for sponsoring this video.
Less is more. More is not more. Less is more. I got rid of 95% of my closet because I always wore like the same 10 pieces. So I'm like, why am I hoarding all these things? And now I could create beautiful outfits and like I value my things more. Keeping on to all that baggage for what? Let that shit go. Less is more. Not having a hobby outside of my work. I became so obsessed with my work that I lost all sight of enjoyment of the things that I love to do. So never lose sight of like what you truly love to do and always make time for it. Okay, this one's kind of funny. Just get drunk with your best friends. Just have a day where, or even like a few hours where you just have a great time and you don't have to think about anything else. You could unplug and just have a good laugh. And maybe you don't drink. I don't really drink anymore. But just finding that time to laugh so hard with them, that is therapy. Like I need that now for my soul. Life only gets busier and harder, and it's harder to find time for your girlfriends and your friends and your family members. You have to make that time. You have to carve that time out. Money doesn't buy you happiness. Success doesn't buy you happiness. What truly buys you happiness is you being content with what you have right now. I guarantee you that if you hit your goal of your next, I don't know, career goal or your money goal, you'll be happy and excited for literally maybe a few days. And then you're on to the next thing, the next bag, the next house, the next car. It never ends. So you have to appreciate what you have now because it's a never ending cycle. It's vicious. There's no such thing as timelines. You don't need to get married at a certain time. You don't need to make X amount of money at a certain time. You don't need to buy a house at a certain time. These are all made up ideas that other people are, their agendas putting themselves on you. So there is no such thing as timeline. You do you and you have your own timeline. I was conditioned to think that I had to get married by my late 20s or else no one's going to want me because that is what was preached to me from my parents. God bless them. Everyone has their own journey and you just have to focus on your journey and it's going to look different than everyone else's. So stop comparing and create your own timeline. Drinking water will fix majority of your skin problems. I never drink water. I spent way too much money on skincare and not enough water. You don't have to be superwoman. There's nothing to be proud of doing it all. Just because you do it all doesn't mean that you win an award at the end of the race. You actually just get burnt out. You get burnt out and you just don't want to move on and you don't want to go on. So ask for help when you really need the help and take rest and breaks, and that's okay. You don't have to stay in your lane. You don't have to finish the way you started. So many times people were like, okay, you only know how to do this thing, so you should continue on to do this. No, no, no. You could try many other things. You could find your passions and your joys and even your skills later on in life. But you'll never know that until you try different things that you've never tried before. So try new things. Wasting too much money on trendy shit. The amount of things that I have given away or tried to sell because they just like are not it. I mean, trends are fun. It's okay to dabble in them, but don't invest into it. Invest into classic quality things that, you know, you could keep for years to come and they get better with age and quality. And the more you use it, the more beautiful it gets. So RIP to so many of the trends and money that I wasted, but getting plastic surgery too young. Your face is ever evolving and changing up until a certain age, and you're gonna have to eventually fix it if you get it done too early. Story of my life. Not listening to my body. For years and years, every time I would eat something, my body would be telling me something, and I would have major stomach issues, but I didn't listen to it. But it was until I had an incident where I had a major freak out and I had to actually go get my blood test. And it turns out that I was allergic to a lot of things that I was putting in my body. I just wish I listened to my body earlier and did something about it until kind of an emergency situation happened. Not prioritizing sleep. This is a big one. I used to think that I was invincible where I could sleep for 3 to 4 hours a day. And it was like a badge of honor, like a pride thing. I have so much to do that I'm so busy. No, that shit ages you so fast. I think about all the hours that I could have slept and where, I mean, I love how I am now, but where my health and my skin and like my energy would be at, maybe it would be 100 times better than where it's at now. It's compound effect. So get that sleep in. It's not something to brag about when you get no sleep.
Taking a little skin break to talk about April Skin. These products just launched and it is pretty game changing. They are also our sponsors for this video, so thank you very much, April Skin. This is April Skin's TXA Dark Spot Spicy Jelly Cream. When I first heard about it, I was like, I love spicy food, but spicy skin? You have to try it because it's such an interesting experience, but it really does help with the texture. It helps with the pores. It helps with so many things and the hyperpigmentation. Over time, I've seen my skin go from lots of little dots to, I'm not saying that they're completely gone, but they have faded significantly. So it's 99% purity TXA. It targets specifically dark spots and hyperpigmentation. It has something called spicule. It really enhances the absorption. This is where you feel your skin working and you could feel, they feel like tiny little spikes. It's not painful, but it's a very interesting sensation. It also has 5% niacinamide and alpha arbutin, which helps with the brightness and it just provides long-lasting hydration. So your skin is not going to feel dried out after this. And then I go into the glazed creamy toner. I know what you guys are thinking because this is what I thought too. Wait, the serum and then the toner? Yes. So the spicules have prepared the skin to open up and just really absorb all the ingredients. It has 11 hydrating ingredients and it really locks in all the moisture for long-lasting hydration. It really improves uneven skin tones and skin elasticity and a radiant glow for the day and weeks to come. And it's extremely lightweight and not sticky, which is really important for me. It almost feels like a moisturizer. It feels really nice. Totally recommend for anyone that's looking for more hydration, even texture, dark hyperpigmentation. If any of you guys are going through that, highly recommend these guys. I will leave the link down below. And thank you, April Skin, for sponsoring this video.
Not getting a therapist sooner and vocalizing how I actually feel. Keeping all of your thoughts in here, in your brain, and not speaking about them. I've never been vocal. I always kept things internally. And I think it not only ate through my soul, but also my mental health. And so I wish I got a therapist earlier on in my life. Not investing my money earlier on. I'm not talking about crazy investments, but little compound interest. It really adds up, especially if you start at a young age. I wish I did that sooner instead of like blowing it off on a cute outfit. Thinking that I would never find love after heartbreak, after a divorce, after having kids, I thought it was over for me. I thought like I was just going to be single for the rest of my life, but no, that is not true. And it doesn't have to be for you. In fact, the best thing could be waiting for you just around the corner, even when you're not looking. Thinking I'm a bad mom because I walked away from a relationship that no longer served me. Nope. In fact, I think I'm the best mom that my kids could ever have. I hope that they're proud of me. I think they are. I feel like I'm giving them the best life that I ever could. I'm just really proud to do the things that I do for them. Believing that I have to dress a certain way after I turned a certain age, like in my 30s, I thought I had to showcase that I'm this like perfect person that didn't show any skin. No, like I feel so good, empowered. I feel good in my body. I'm gonna show it off if I want to. Thinking that time is unlimited. It's not. I am 40 years old. And the amount of times I've said, oh, I'll just do it next year. Stop saying that. Next year will never come around. Do it right now because you'll continue to say that. And that is the biggest regret I have is, oh, I'll make more time next year to spend more time with my family. Oh, I'll do it next year to go on this vacation with my kids. No, that time will never come. So do it now. Taking my parents for granted and just always thinking that they're always going to be around, but no, like they're not. And I feel like I have maybe another decade or two with them, and just really trying to take every moment opportunity to just make memories with them. And a lot of times they haven't been able to experience life either, and just taking them on the journey with me. Thinking that Prince Charming is going to come and save me. I'm sorry, boo, but he doesn't exist. He or she does not exist. The Prince Charming is you. You're going to save yourself. No one's coming to save you. It's going to be you. And that was a big mistake that I've learned in my late 20s, early 30s, that no one's coming to save me except for me. Thinking that I couldn't rewear things that I've worn before. Like, what kind of mindset is that? I remember thinking, like, if I wore an outfit, no one can ever see me in this outfit again. That is the stupidest thinking. I don't even know why I was thinking like that. I think it's cool now to rewear things, to rework things, and like keeping pieces that you prize so much, that you take care of. Like, what a gift it is to have those pieces. I think before I would just like hoard things so nothing was of value. But now it's like, oh no, I wore this like a million times because it's such a good piece. Not starting retinol earlier, period. Everyone should start retinol at even mid-20s, I would say. Stop picking at those pimples. They will scar your face and they will be with you until you die. Like, I'm still dealing, because I was an acne, oily skin girl. I still have pimples on my body and my face that I picked out when I was like 12 years old. And I'm like, I'm 40 and y'all are still with me right now? Stop picking. Thinking that my metabolism is always going to be this fast. No, it only slows down from here. So you got to take care of your body. You got to know what works with your body. Don't just be stuffing your face with the things that you just love so much all the time. And like those late ramen nights that you had in your teens, can't do that anymore. Like, my face will be puffy for an entire month if I do that now. So you just have to know what works for your body and know that you can't take advantage of it. Having imposter syndrome, I know this is totally normalized because everyone has imposter syndrome, but don't let that stop you from allowing yourself to be at the table with other people that you think that they know more than you. Most likely they're just as scared of being there as much as you are. Like, you belong in that room, and really believing that. I think about the times that I thought I wasn't good enough. But the fact is, everyone kind of feels that way. Not taking enough risk. I think earlier on, I was so afraid of failing. But failure is the only way to move forward, the only way that you could discover your abilities and your capabilities. And that's how you discover new opportunities. I really think about how I landed on Fleur and how I got this far in my career. It's all about failing and taking those risks. 99% of the times, things don't work out, but you cannot stop. So do not stop. Keep going. You're getting closer to your yes. Always apologizing. I always started off my sentence with, I'm so sorry, but no, stop that. Stop that. Don't use that as a filler word. You have to own up to it. So instead of saying, I'm sorry, I'm late, just say, I'm late. And then let's move forward, right? So it's really about just owning up to where you're at. If it's your fault, own up to it. If it's not your fault, you don't have to be sorry about it, right? There's a time and place to apologize, and you could do it once, but you don't have to repeat it over and over and over again. And also just take the habit out of like just starting off a sentence with I'm sorry, because that's also just not a great positive way to start off a conversation. Not wearing sunscreen daily. I know a lot of you guys watching this do not wear sunscreen every single day. You have to wear it every single day. I am so embarrassed to say this. I only started wearing sunscreen every single day maybe 5 years ago. That's like when I was 35. Like, that's late. I look at my hyperpigmentation and discoloration, like those would not be there if I wore sunscreen every day. And I would have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on lasers on trying to even out my skin. So wear sunscreen every day. Thinking that kids will not change you or your relationship. I'm going to say it here. It does change everything. It changes your relationship with your partner. It changes your relationship with your friends. It changes your dynamic with even yourself and how you view yourself. You have to be in a very strong mindset to understand that it's a very sensitive time, a vulnerable time once you have kids, and you have to be ready for that. So I know a lot of people are saying you're never ready for kids, but you have to be mentally strong enough to have kids. And I'm so glad that I have kids. I'm not regretting my kids at all, but there's a lot of hard learnings and lessons that came from after having my girls. Thinking that your kids will fix your problems, that all of your problems and your issues, your self-esteem, your marital status, or your marital situation, it will fix everything because you have these like beautiful little humans that you brought into this world. Yes, temporarily. It will kind of mask those problems, but they will come back in tenfold. So you have to remember that kids will not fix your problems, nor should they ever have the expectation to fixing your problems. Thinking that it's too late to start over. I talk about this a lot. It's never too late to start over. You're actually just beginning. And if anything, you're the best version of yourself that you've ever been, as long as you're allowing yourself to believe that. Because if you take all the accumulation of all the lessons, all the heartbreak, everything that you've learned from the past, and you take that, you can become the best, the smartest, the wisest person you've ever been. And so it's never too late to start a new business. It's never too late to get into a new relationship. It's never too late to try something new because you're so much more skilled than you were just a few years ago. No matter how busy life gets, you have to make time for your friends and family. It only gets busier and harder. And for me personally, work has taken over my life in the last 20 years. And I think I've lost a few relationships and friendships along the way. And I don't regret it, but I do sometimes think about what if I put in the same amount of work and love that I do into the people that I care for so much that I do into my job and my career and my business. At the end of the day, it's not about the physical things that you achieve in your life or the money that you accumulate. It's really about the people around you. And so if you value people, if you value those relationships, take the time. Don't take them for granted. Thinking that an exciting life means a life full of adventures and travels and busyness. No, I think I realize now that a beautiful life is a quiet life. It's the moments where you can be with yourself and feel so comfortable and so at peace. Peace is the biggest gift. That's one thing that is not talked about enough. I think I was conditioned to believe, watching my parents and the older generation, that 40 was the end. The level of confidence I have within myself and my abilities, I want to be out there. I want to do more. I know I can do more. I can conquer so much more. And so I think 30s was an incredible journey. And I've done a lot and I've learned a lot. But I'm really excited to see what 40 has for me. And I feel like it's going to be a really good one. Thank you guys so much for just supporting me through the last few decades, and just always rooting for me. And I hope that my journey can inspire a lot of you guys to fail forward and not be afraid of trying new things and pushing the boundaries. To all of us just getting started, no matter where we're at in our lives. Okay, love you guys.